Hey everybody, welcome. Thanks for coming. So, I'm Jason, and this week we're going to look at TXMTs with special effects. I've done another demonstration of these before in the past, but this time I'm going to do a backlit textured TXMT, a simple light TXMT, and a scrolling backlit TXMT. Essentially what we're doing is just stealing these working materials from other objects, from other working materials with special effects, and adding them to this new object. So let's get started. Okay, so what we have here is the Maxis red versus blue, but I cut out the canvas part, just made it its own separate thing, and for this scrolling one, I remapped it. So we go texture coordinate editor. So for the original texture, it just takes up the bottom chunk down here. But what I did, I scooted the top corners all the way to the top of the canvas, and then scooted it across so that it only takes up about half, because what's going to happen, this texture is going to scroll across. It's this moving starscape. So, in order to get started, we go over to SimPE, and I've already started this up because I'm prepared this time. I don't want to take 30 seconds to load the file tables. So we go to decorative, and we go to wall, and let's just find the red versus blue. Red versus blue oil portrait. So now we go next, clone, and make sure all of these are selected. We're making a standalone object. We don't want to reference the original mesh because we do want a GMDC in this one. I messed up on that before. So then we go next, and I'm just going to call this one, no, workshop. Backlit. And we'll make this about 15. Click on finish. And we rename the scene graph. We go workshop. Update just like that. Click OK. And I'm going to call it red v blue hyphen backlit. Click on yes. And we hop back to the plugin view. Now we've done that part. If we go to the raw data, we set that as decimal, and that shows us our price. So what we need right now is a GID for this new object. So I go to my GID spreadsheet, and just going to make a new one here. Red v blue backlit. Copy the GID. Hop back over to SimPE. Paste that over there. And we're probably not going to jump into mmats, but oh, it doesn't have an mmat. It's not recolorable. That doesn't really matter. Okay, so here, I'm going to leave the wall shadow this time. I'm not going to mess with it because it's going to be the same. All we're doing is messing with the canvas. So as you can see, this is all, there are two subsets in this model. There's the wall shadow and then there's the painting. That's all one piece. In the workshop, in the workshop thread, the workshop post, there are a couple of object files, and basically the one is for the canvas separated and the one with the canvas separated but remapped for scrolling. So here, if you're following along at home, we're going to go import, and we're going to look at, we want the one that says red v blue sep. Now, this one, this first part of the object, this is going to replace the frame, just the matte frame effect. And then backlit, it's going to be its own thing. We're not going to rename it, we're just going to add it. So now, over here in the groups, we've got the wall shadow, we've got the frame, and we've got the backlit portion. Let me give you a quick preview. Well, let me give you a quick preview with the frame so you can see what's going on. Okay? So the backlit subset, that's its own thing. We click on commit. So now, let's go down to the SHPE. And let's add. And then for here, we need to change the subset name to backlit. And instead of underscore portrait, I'm just going to go backlit underscore backlit. Let's commit that. Now, we go up to the TXMT, and we don't mess with the wall shadow one. We just grab, in the TX, we go to the TXMT for the frame, and we're looking for standard material base texture name. It's this long string of characters like this. We highlight, we click in the value box, we grab everything, we highlight everything, and then we go Control C. Then we just open our trusty notepad and we paste that texture name. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add this backlit, but I'm not going to add a different material. So it's this, the frame is going to remain matte, but the canvas is going to be lit up in the game. And I will put it side by side with the Maxis painting so that you can see it. So here, we need to clone. And then, we don't want this to be portrait now. We want to change the file name to backlit. Just like that. Now, we copy this, Control C, and we replace, and then we're looking for the material that says backlit. So we've got scrolling starscape, we've got blue light. I thought I added that to the folder. Okay, no big deal. Let's go to Sims 2 projects, ongoing, TXMT materials. And we just want the simple backlit one. Backlit TXMT. I know this is in the post thread. I just forgot to add it to my personal folder for the workshop. So we add the material. Then in the file name, we paste over the file name that we copied. And then we go back to our notepad. We copy all of this text, And if you go down to the bottom, what do we have here? We have standard material base texture name. It's in a different place because this was added onto a basic lit up material like a bulb, but the texture was enabled. So we just paste over here, make sure there's no extra spaces, and then from the properties tab we move to the file list tab and we paste over here. Then we hit commit. Okay, so we've got this shape and we've got the TXMT, and it's pulling the texture from the same place as the frame. So now we go Tools, Object Tools, Fix Integrity. This is just going to stitch together the new resources that we added. Don't change the scene graph name. Click OK. File and save. Then we go back up here and hit preview. Okay, so now we can see that this is correct now because the canvas is pulling the texture from the right place. And because we don't need to make it recolorable or any of that fancy stuff, this one is done. Okay, so now we go back to Object Workshop, click the Start Over arrow. We're going to start again. We're going to clone the same painting, the red versus blue. Go to Next. Don't change any of the cloning options. And then this one is Workshop Painting Light Effect. So this is just going to be a simple light effect. And I think it was 15 in the other one, so we'll make this 15 just to remain consistent. So we add the name, we add the catalog description, we add the price, we click Finish, and then we rename the scene graph. Red v blue. Update. Click on OK. And we're not in the right place because I had to grab the TXMT. So we go back to the workshop folder. This one I'm just going to call it red v blue dash light effect, no spaces. Save. Hop back over to plugin view. And then we need a new GID. So just go back to my spreadsheet. Name this one Light Effect. Then we just copy that number there. Hop back over to SimPE and paste over. And we don't have MMass, but I'm going to do that just because I'm in the habit of doing it. And we commit. Okay. Then we go back up to the GMDC, and it's the same thing. We're going to import red v blue sep. The first piece, the first subset, we're going to replace the portrait frame, and the backlit is again just its own thing. We'll OK. Do a quick preview. And commit. Okay. Next, we go to the SHPE. We just we just select one of those and we go add. We select the portrait one and then we go add. And then we go backlit. And the same thing after the underscore, we're going to name it backlit. Commit. And give that a quick save. Then we go to the TXMT. This time, because it's just a light, like a lit up bulb, we don't really need a texture for it. So we just go clone. And then the one that we cloned, and in the space between the two underscores, we make that backlit. Then we copy the entire file name, go back to the resource tree, and we go replace. And the one that I want is called, is it this one? Okay, when your SimPE does that, just click the little CD thing. That will put everything back in, that will snap everything back where it was. So then we just paste over the scene graph name. File save, tools, object tools, fix integrity. Don't mess with the scene graph, just click OK. See, that's slightly changed. You can see that's kind of a lit up glowing blue thing. Okay, well, nobody's perfect. Let's look at the scrolling star field now. So we grab the same painting, click next, don't change anything in cloning options, and this is going to make it the same. We're going to give it the same price. It's 15. So click on finish. Then here in the scene graph, we're going to name it, what was it, red v blue. Update. Okay. And we go back to my project folder. Then we save. Hop over to plugin view, and the first resource to modify is the OBJD. We make that red v blue a star field. We copy that number, paste it over here, update and commit. And now we go to the GMDC. We click on the import button. This time we're looking for the resource called red v blue sep2. It's separated, but it's the backlit texture is remapped this time. So we replace the matte texture, or the matte subset with just a frame only, and backlit remains its own thing. Give it a quick preview. So it's the same situation. The frame uses the original material, and this part is where we're going to add the effect. Once again, we go to SHPE. We grab the line of text that has the painting. We'll click the add link over in this corner. Then we change the subset name to backlit. And after the underscore, we also change that to backlit. We click on commit. Now here, because we need a new texture, we need to do a little bit more work. So we leave this as it is. We select on the original texture. We clone. And here, instead of dash meg, we're going to change this to dash starfield. Then we build the XT, and we grab this one that says Starscape TXMT. Make sure our format is DXT3 in the dropdown, and just build. We let it do its thing, then we commit, and we save. Now, we go up to the TXMTs. We select the portrait one. And we clone it. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's copy down this texture name. We no longer need that, so we're just going to paste right over it. But instead of meg, we make that starfield. Then, instead of portrait, we rename this backlit. Then we grab that, we copy the file name, then we replace, and we're looking for scrolling Starscape TXMT. We just replace it. Then we paste over the file name where the text we copied. And we scroll down to where it says standard material based texture name. We copy the texture name. We paste that over. Then as the last step, we go to file list and we paste over here. Click on commit and save our TXMT. Then we go tools, object tools, fix integrity. Now, fingers crossed, we hop back to the GMDC, preview, and there you go.
Very cool.
It looks even cooler in game.
I bet when it's moving around, yeah.
Yeah. Why not? And then okay, so
Okay, yeah.
so you can see that's the original red versus blue. And then the
Mhm.
second one is backlit red versus blue that uses, it's the same model, it's just split up into two different subsets, and it uses that backlit texture. Then you've got the cool glowing blue, and you've got the star field. So watch what happens when we go into live mode.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like that. Uh-oh. It's starting to rain.
Uh-oh.
But that was it. That was all I was really here to illustrate. Pretty much it. I don't think I have anything else to add. I mean, today's lesson is extracting a TXMT with effects and adding it to an object as a subset.
It was very, okay, pardon this pun, illuminating. Thank you. Sorry, that was a bad pun.
No, that was good actually. I'm just going to call this one. Thank you all for coming. It was a fun workshop.